Here, the second component for literary communication, according to M.H. Abraham, is the writer bar author. Because writer is, once again we say, is a member of the society. And if we go back to the Western tradition, say Plato, Aristotle. So here, literature is something a poet or a writer makes up. So literature is created by the author. The writer creates literature. And an assumption built into our very terms such as poetry, fiction, author. So this conception can involve celebrating the writer's supreme creativity. So he is the creator. The creativity, makes him more popular. If he has the creativity, he stands different from other members of the society. He gets the recognition. So that's why writer is a special one in the society and among all the members of the society. And it so it is his supreme creativity, but it can also place literature on a spectrum shading over towards unreality, falsehood, and outright lying. So what the writer writes is not always and all is true. The writer, that's why we discussed what is fiction and what is non-fiction. So fiction is something not based on reality, real things. So it is his creation. So that's why here, sometimes the writer writes, and with unreality, he writes with falsehood and outright lying. It was lots of discussion between Plato and Aristotle. So that's why Plato opposed the writing. Means he blamed the poets as liars. That's what here Plato wanted. That's why he wanted the poetry banished from his republic. ಅದನ್ನು ಕವಿಗಳನ್ನು ಗಡೀಪಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವರು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತನ್ನುವಂಥ ಮಾತು ಪ್ಲೇಟೋನಿಂದ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಬಟ್ Aristotle's views are different. He celebrated poetry, he respected poetry, and he wrote poetics, a very good book. So he says, poetry is more philosophical than historical writing. Poetry must not be like history, but it must be philosophical, something higher in quality, and able to convey higher truths free from the accidents of everyday life. Poetry should have the reality, not the as usual that happens in the real life. And author, the term author in particular, not only suggests the great status according to the writer, but also points his association with the ideas of authority. So he has the supreme, status in the society, and there are very important, points. His association with the ideas of authority and authoritarian behavior. We see that kind of authoritarian behavior means the behavior of the writer in his writings. So our views on the writers or author's role change as the result of social and economic shifts, society and economy. So where the shift takes place, we also see the change of his role, writer's role in the society. So artist may seem to speak on behalf of a whole community. So sometimes he may speaks about the whole community, and he may represent an exclusive class. The author, he may represent exclusive class, an exclusive person, a circle or elite. Yet others still, the artist may operate as an isolated. He is a special being in the society, even controversial individual. Sometimes, because of his writings, he may be a controversial man in the society. Or at all times, however, there is no consensus over what an artist is. In prehistoric times, the artist was a maker. In the earlier times, he was a maker. In medieval societies, he was often a bard. Bard means a poet who played an active part in social organization. He worked in organizing the society. By coming 16th century Europe, artists mainly worked for patrons. ಯಾರು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇವರನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಗಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದರು 16ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿಂದ. Yet the author is an authority having something permanently valuable to say. So he has an authority, he has one status. So that is valuable to say about him. Literary authors have been regarded as philosophers. So that's why they have some position, they have some respect in the society. That's why they are regarded as philosophers. ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೀರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು, ತಿಳಿದವರು, ಸೇಜಸ್ ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳು, ಋಷಿಗಳು. The strongest claim in this line were made by Shelley. So Shelley has made one remark supporting all this. That's why he supported the poets, and he wrote like this: poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. That is there in his defense of poetry. As M.H. Abraham notes, Romanticism brought the subjectivity of the poet to the center of theoretical attention. Subjectivity means what the author feels, the writer feels. He writes it directly according to his feeling without much altering. So that is what you can see during the times of Romanticism, that was in the 19th century. And personal expression became the goal. Whatever he feels, whatever he imagines, so there he expresses, and it may be the goal of the poet during this time, not only for content but also for style. As far as the content of the matter is concerned and his style is concerned, whatever the style he has, he shown it through his writing. The achievement of recognizable personal voice. So Sigmund Freud's creative writers and daydreaming saw the author as having a key role within the text itself. So Freud, according to Freud, so in his writings, the role of the poet is somewhat agreed. That is seen in the text. For Freud, texts were the result of authoritarian anxieties and philosophical tensions. And in 1977, Roland Barthes was an his essay entitled The Death of the Author. So he writes one essay, Death of the Author, which deeply affected contemporary way of viewing authorship. So in that particular book, so author is seen in the way of viewing as a authorship. Barthes gives greater prominence to the reader of a work and rejects the idea that the role of the author in the production of textual meaning is significant. So according to Barthes, he says the play of the reader, the role of the reader is much important than the role of the writer. According to Roland Barthes, the work's meaning is more a product of its perceivers, how he perceives, how the reader perceives the work, understanding of the work. So it is more, and reader's interpretation than of its maker's intention. So according to Roland Barthes, the role of a reader is more important than the role of the author. No less influence has been Michael Fackel's essay. So one more man who wrote an essay, what is an author? So according to him, he wrote this in the year 1978. Fackelt argues that author is not a person but a concept which can only be grasped in terms of social, political and historical circumstances. So that is true. How the perceiver is none other than the reader. How the reader understands the text. He understands the text on the background of his society, political developments and social system and historical background. So on all these backgrounds he understands the work. Fackelt prefers phrase author function to the word author. This function refers to a body of works, ideas, theories associated with the author's name rather than a physical individual. The writer whose individuality is not important, what the content is important. That's what Fackelt wrote in his essay, What is an Author. These views have done much to undermine conventional idealizations of the artist or author as a genius. The displacement of the author is indeed an attack on the notion of individual ownership of the text and meanings. So these are the views expressed by Roland Barthes and Michael Fackelt in their essays.